Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our seminar today. We are also on live right now through LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. My name is Suki, and I'm one of the consultants here at AIMS. It's been a while since we've had a seminar for Australia. I hope today's session will give you a more insight into how to migrate to Australia as a skilled workers. Okay, before we start, I would like to share with you a video of our company's journey over the past 16 years. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Throughout this session, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop us a message. We'll be answering to your questions at the end of this session. And of course, for all of you are sitting here right now in our office, if you have any questions, you can just remember first and later ask us. Okay, so if you want to have a one-on-one consultation session to find out whether you are eligible based on your profile, please do let us know so that our consultant will be in touch with you and arrange a session with you. Today we are broadcasting out of Singapore, where our headquarters is. AIMS started in 2006, and right now we have 10 offices in 8 countries across Asia Pacific. We offer an entire suite of services such as skilled migration, business, and investment migration. We also do passport programs and offer relocation services. This is our CEO, Mr. Piers Cheng. He's the founder of AIMS, and over the last 5 years, he has been awarded top 100 as well as top 25 migration company CEO. Under his leadership, the company has grown from a single office with less than 10 employees to where we are currently. He's a firm believer of luck, of hard work, and he sticks to his belief that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Our vision is to be a leading and reputable migration and relocation provider in Asia Pacific. And our mission is to achieve clients' migration and relocation dreams through our specialized and dedicated teams. This is our core value PUSH, stands for professionalism, utmost integrity, sincerity, human touch, empathy, and dedication. Why do we push? As migration can be very time sensitive. So if you miss out by one day, you might not be able to migrate to another country again. This can be a little bit extreme. However, we actually have heard of people, it happened to them before. This could be due to your age, due to your health, or policy. Okay, so as long as you think you are qualified, okay, and you have the intention that you want to move to another countries, to find out more and try to start ASAP. This is an overview of our presence office in Asia Pacific. So now we have 10 offices in 8 countries. They are in China, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, Malaysia, Myanmar, and of course, Singapore, which is our headquarters. We have almost 30 destination countries that we can help our clients to migrate to. The more popular ones for skilled workers are probably Australia and Canada, and currently they are the only two that are open right now. Okay, and we also help our clients to migrate to European countries through investment or get a direct citizenship from the Caribbean countries. So today we will only focus on Australia migration through skilled workers program. Today, we have 220 immigration professionals across 10 offices in 8 countries, and we have helped over 18,000 families to move to different parts of the world. And our services, besides the skilled workers, we also help investors, corporates, as well as entrepreneurs to pursue their immigration dreams. We also help students to apply student visa to several countries, and not forgetting helping families to reunite with their loved ones. So why should you choose AIMS? The most important reason are because we offer a full spectrum of services like visa applications, relocation services, business solutions, and company relocations, as well as banking and student services. There will also be a dedicated consultant looking after you throughout your entire journey with us. So our topic today is Australia. So why we choose Australia? Because Australia is ranked number 13 in the world in ease of doing business and equal employment opportunity. The union is very strong, as a lot of us have probably encountered OT in Singapore. Of course, there might be some companies that require OT in Australia, but we are paid fairly, and if we don't, we can go to the union. So that's why employers in Australia usually, after certain hours, regular hours, 8 to 5 or 9 to 6, they will ask their employees to go home. Okay, so actually we will get a work-life balance. World-class education, there are a lot of good universities in Australia, and as you can see in the picture, the quality of life, Australia is a very big has a very big land, so there is a lot of different scenery that you can or places that you can visit. If today, assuming all of us are foreigners to Australia, these are the education fees payable in Sydney and Melbourne. These will come up to approximately 180,000 Australian dollars for a typical pre-university education. And upon receiving a PR, most of these fees will be zeroized. In terms of savings, you will come to realize that you're actually spending 10% to save 90%. In Australia, giving birth is almost free. If you're not an PR or a citizen, okay, you are actually looking at 9,000 to 14,000 for the session. And usually, when you visit doctor as a PR, it's almost free as well. And salary in Australia, actually, they do have a minimum wage, which is come up to about $811 per week. So, which is equivalent to $21.35 per hourly rate. So, for a lot of fresh grad, when they just step out and start working, right, this is a very good pay. And of course, there are professionals that are getting very good pay as well. For example, even for technicians, bricklayers, plumbers, their salary can range from $40 to $100 an hour. And of course, we have clients that share with us that when they go to Australia, immediately they manage to get a job, and the salary they are getting is almost 2 times more than what they receive in Singapore. But of course, it also depends on the occupation. And cost of living is relatively low when it comes to housing and cars. So as you can see in the picture, this landed property is about 360,000 Okay, with $360,000 in Singapore, we can probably still get a 3-room or 4-room HDB flat. But for a house like this, right, I don't think it's possible in Singapore. But in Australia, this is the kind of house you can enjoy with such pricing. And of course, a brand new car, as you can see, is only 20,000. Okay, it's probably not even enough to pay the COE in Singapore. Okay, so this is the migration policy announced in late March this year. So far, the best news of Australia immigration in more than 2 years. We have never seen this before, such increase of almost 3 times in planning levels. I would like you to look very closely at these numbers. Okay, July is the start of the financial year. Okay, this is where the quota will refresh. As you can see for subclass 189, the skilled independent visa. Okay, for 2021 to 2022, the quota was about 6,500, and this year, which already started, is 16,000 plus. Okay, for the whole year, and for skilled workers related regional and state sponsorship, last year is about 11,200 for the quota, and this year they have doubled the quota. So it's really a good news. And in fact, since July this year, we have also encountered over hundreds of invitations because of this policy. So it is possible to catch the wave. Of course, there are a few things that you need to do before you can jump into the system and fight for the quota. But later on, you will understand a little bit more. Okay, let's get into the topic, Australia General Skilled Worker Program. So the more general criteria, a lot of our clients have the impression that you must secure a job before you can actually apply for the visa. And in fact, it is not true, because it is actually based on your skills and whether the countries have demand in such skills. So there will be no job offer required. Okay, and the second one is if you're married and have children, you can of course include your partner and children below 23 in the application. Every family member in this application has to pass the police and medical check. If one fails, the whole application fails. Okay, so this would be some of the general rules. For those who has to do the police clearance, as long as you're over 18 years old, it is mandatory. Other criteria, for example, your age has to be between 18 to 44 years old. You must pass the skills assessment. So usually there will be a nominated occupation, and there will be different assessing authorities assessing the occupations, okay, based on the qualification, your job duties, etc. So you also need to have a competent English or higher. What is competent English? I think you guys have heard of IELTS, right? So competent English is equivalent to 6 in IELTS, so it's quite achievable. Of course, with only 6, you do not get points for that. However, this is the minimum set by the immigration, okay? And of course, you have to meet the passing mark, which is 65 points. Okay, there are 3 type of subclasses under the skilled migration. They are subclass 189, 190, 491. So 189 and 190, they are direct PR. Okay, for 491, which is a skilled regional, is a provisional visa, which allows you to travel, to work, and to live in Australia. Okay, it's a 5-year visa, and it is convertible to a PR. Okay, so in order for you to be able to convert to a PR, right, either husband or wife, okay, must live and work in a regional or designated area for 3 years. Then submit 3 years taxable income statement. Then you're eligible to apply for subclass 191, which is a PR application. So how do you know how many points you have? It's actually quite straightforward. Okay, it is based on your age, your qualification, work experience, English level, whether you have work experience or study experience in Australia. So, for example, today, if you are 34 years old, okay, then you will be able to claim 25 points. Okay, and the moment you reach 40, before you receive the invitation, okay, then your points will drop to 15. English language. So in Australia, the immigration, they do accept different types of English exam, but the most common one would be IELTS or PTE, and for medical professionals would be OET. So competent is 6 equivalent. Proficient, which allows you to get 10 points, which is equivalent to IELTS 7. Okay, of course, if you can get higher points, then you can even try for then you can even get 20 for English. In terms of qualification, most of our clients will have a bachelor degree, which you will be able to claim 15 points. Okay, and then with a diploma, you can also claim 10 points. Okay, so for the work experience, so for example, if you only have 1 or 2 years work experience, unfortunately, you're not able to claim any points. So starting from 3 years, so if you have 3 years of work experience, you'll be able to claim 5 points. Okay, up to 8 years. So maximum points is 15 points for more 8 years and above. So if you have worked in Australia before, of course, you are able to claim some points as well. As you can see, 5 points for minimum 1 year of working in Australia. And if you have studied there, you'll be able to claim 5 points. But if you study in a regional area, so for example, like outskirts of the main cities, so usually you'll be able to get another additional 5 points. If today you're single, then you can claim 10 points straight away. Okay. If you have a de facto partner, meaning you're in a relationship, have been living with this partner for more than 1 year, you can apply together with your partner. Of course, if you're married, and you can also claim partner points. However, your partner must be able to pass the skills assessment. Okay, so meaning his or her occupation has to be assessed and get a positive result, and with a competent English level. What happens if your partner's occupation is not in the skilled list? Of course, your partner can still contribute some points, 5 points, by simply doing an English exam, okay, for which is equivalent to IELTS 6, then can contribute 5 points to this application. Okay, if you apply through subclass 190, you'll be able to claim another 5 points, and subclass 491 additional 15 points. So the main differences between the 3 type of subclasses, 189 is probably the best out of the 3, okay, because it's a direct PR. You can stay anywhere in Australia. Okay, and 190 is also a direct PR. However, because the state is the one that give you the 5 points, so they sponsor you. So you have the obligation to stay in this particular state for 2 years. Okay, so that is the main difference between these 2 visas. And then for the 491 visa, as I mentioned earlier, is a 5-year visa. It is convertible to a PR as long as you're able to stay and work in a designated area for 3 years. So the process of this whole application, of course, in order for us to help you, we'll definitely need to assess whether you're eligible. So usually we will ask you some questions and collect your resume, and then we will have a consultation session, which is totally free of charge. Okay, so once we confirm that you're eligible and we are confident to help you, and this is where we will start the preparation of the documents, okay, and to submit for the skills assessment. So the skills assessment, usually the result will be out within maybe 3 months, and sometimes there might be a delay to 5 months or 6 months. So this is depending on the assessing authorities. Okay, so once we have the positive result, and of course we have our IELTS exam, then we can actually lodge for the expression of interest. Okay, and we'll also look at which states that our clients are eligible to apply. Okay, Each of the states might have their own requirement. So we will explore for you. Okay, the nomination this stage might take, for some clients can be very fast, few months, and some might take a little bit longer. Of course points is also one of the factor whether you will be able to get an invitation. So the higher points you have, also the higher chance it is. And when you receive the invitation, this is where we can officially lodge the visa application for you, okay, together with all your documents. And this is the stage that where you will need to clear the police check and medical check. Okay, the processing time, actually the range is quite big. Recently we have encountered maybe 4 months of approvals, okay, but based on the immigration website it can go even up to 2 years. Okay, a lot of us might already know when you are an Australian PR, actually you are also like a PR in New Zealand, but not yet a PR, of course. But with Australian PR, you can actually live and work in New Zealand and eventually become their PR. So, of course, New Zealand, they have their own skill migration program, which for now is still suspended, but it will be open soon. Okay, but for those who are not eligible because they have a very high invitation cutoff point, they might consider going through the Australia pathway. And once you get the PR, then you can go into New Zealand to live and work and become their PR. And Australia is also has one of the most powerful passport in the world. There is a visa-free or visa on arrival access to more than 180 countries. In order for you to be qualified to apply for the Australian citizenship, you must be a PR for at least minimum 12 months. Okay, and you have to stay in Australia for minimum 4 years out of 6 years in order for you to apply. Okay, so during this COVID, a lot of application process has been very, very slow. And finally, this year in 2022, we have seen some lights at the end of the tunnels. This year, we have been receiving a lot of approvals and invitations. And actually, only yesterday, we also have clients who gotten the invitation for subclass 189, who has 80 points and he's a lecturer. And of course we also have clients who gotten the invitation from South Australia through subclass 190, and I remember he's a radiographer. So as you can see on this successful clients, the first one, okay, this client gotten the invitation, the visa approval in April this year, who has a master degree and is an optometrist. Okay, gotten the subclass 190, which is a PR through South Australia. The second one, okay, is a Chinese single electrical engineer, and the client's points is 75 points. Gotten the 489 approval through South Australia as well. Okay, this one is more recent. The visa grants only last month, okay, a month ago, and who is a registered nurse. Okay, last month actually not just last month. Since July, we have seen a lot of nurses who gotten the invitations. So nurse probably is one of the most in demand occupation right now, or teachers, engineers. But this one, 80 points. Okay, is a subclass 491. Okay, so I hope now you have a better understanding of how to migrate to Australia through the skilled migration pathway. So does any of you have any questions?
I just confirm.
IELTS?
I just confirm.
IELTS is mandatory. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, minimum you must get 6. Or you can try PTE. A lot of our clients actually can get a better result in PTE. So which is another type of exam for the Pearson test, English. Okay.
Because I completed my currently 12 class revision, the basic studies, and Singapore I capital course mechanical and electrical engineering complete.
Mhm.
But I now also getting also no complete the IELTS.
Yeah, IELTS actually depends on your occupations. IELTS or English exam might not be required at the assessment stage. So, for example, your technicians or you're one of the occupations under VEDSS, maybe like HR executive, marketing specialist, all this, right? IELTS is not actually required at the first stage. So usually we wait for the assessment result first. Then when we submit for the EOI, expression of interest, this is where we will need to submit your IELTS result as well, or other English exam results. Okay. Do we have any questions here? Okay, let me just have a look. Okay, IELTS general or academic, it depends on your occupation. For example, today I'm a marketing specialist or I'm a HR executive. Okay, or I'm a engineer. Okay, actually you can take both, IELTS general or academic. But however, there are certain occupations they require you to have IELTS academic, which some people say is harder. Okay, for example, accountant, nurses. Yeah, these are the more general occupations we encounter. So IELTS academic is required. Okay. Okay, so IELTS. Okay, if I apply for work visa, do I need IELTS? So okay, this session we talk about the more permanent ones, but just for your information, work visa usually does not really have IELTS requirement. At least as long as you are able to speak functional English, which is equivalent to IELTS 4. Yeah. So, but of course, if your occupation has to go through the skills assessment, okay, then if the assessing authority has a requirement for IELTS or other English exam requirement, then you will have to go through this part as well. Okay, so electrical engineers, current PR scores cutoff of 189 for electrical engineers. This one actually I have not checked, but I think last week we received a batch of invitations. I did see engineer, but I cannot remember exactly whether it's electrical or electronics or mechanical. But the point was as low as 70, okay, for 189. As a Singapore PR, can you get additional points? Unfortunately, no. Okay. Because all the nationalities have the equal rights, they look at the points based on your professional profile, like your qualification, your English results, and your of course your work experience. The occupation is more important than the nationality. Yeah, another attendees asked about the cutoff point for electrical or electronics EE engineer, right? Yeah, so like I said, I would say this year so far, the cutoff point we have seen can be quite low. But of course, there are websites that we are able to check through. If you go through the immigration website, they will actually release the points that they selected for that particular round. Okay, so we can take a look later on. But for you, if you want to ask more and if you want to get the answer, I can do a check for you later on. Then we can approach you again and contact you and give you the answer as well for that one. Okay, so Anyway, if you have any more questions, or if you still do not know whether how many points you have, because there are some rules when you're whether you are able to claim these points. So do let us know you if you're interested. We can arrange a session for you to do a points test for you and go through the main requirement and the process timeline in detail. Okay, in order for us to identify whether you are qualified or not. So before we go, okay, just a good news, if you do sign up with us, okay, then there will be a 20% discount on the consultancy fee. Okay, this we will actually let you know all the fees breakdown during the consultation section. So there is no hidden fees, nothing at all. So then you will be able to know roughly how much it's going to cost for your whole family. Okay, so yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, whether it's online or here at our office. Okay, so I hope that after this session, you have a better understanding, and do talk to us if you have more questions. Of course, you can leave your name and just simply let us know that you're interested. We will approach you and get in touch with you to arrange the consultation session. And thank you very much for spending this afternoon, 30 minutes with us. Okay, my name is Suki, and I hope to hear from all of you guys again. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.